When I stumbled across Doc, I was like, oh my God, why hasn't this tool existed before? This is amazing. It's really easy to use from an internal standpoint to stand up. It's really easy for a customer to be able to get access to it. We don't have questions now coming up from customers of like what to expect next. Like, I don't know where we're going with this. So Assignar is a construction operations platform. I'm the global head of customer success here, so I am responsible for all post-sale functions. We typically are the first kind of big software that a construction business is rolling out across their entire operations. Typically, before they come before us, they've got a very manual, paper-based process. So we don't just have like the digital transformation challenge, we also have the technology enablement challenge as well. Like, some people don't realize that the app store is on their phone and not a store they go to. That has happened. And so, come with that is a very unique challenge when you're onboarding a customer as well. Change management is not necessarily a strong point. When I came on board, the thing I heard from customers was, we don't know what to expect. And so then I started down this path of, okay, how do we make it clearer to customers about what to do, what to expect next, and like, what have they done, what have they accomplished? And so I started down the path of typically like creating a deck, a PowerPoint slide. And then I was sitting there being like, this is dumb. I've hated working on these decks in my career as a CSM. Why are we making people sit through these decks? And so then I started to like research more creative ways of doing kickoff calls and running implementation. And I've used other like project management tools in the past, but that doesn't really work for our customer base, because then they're learning our tool plus a project management tool. Inviting a customer to an Assignar board just didn't make sense. And I just arrived at that this was too clunky. And that's kind of where Doc came in and has been a really key driver for helping that customer collaboration piece. Our onboarding process at Assignar has always been like 5 key steps. So the first one is typically a kickoff call that involves the salesperson, implementation, and CSM. And then the second phase is where we go into configuring their environment, getting their data into the platform. Then we moved into training. Typically those 4 to 5 training sessions, and then they'd move into a pilot phase, and then we'd move them into like launch as such. And some customers can move through it in 14 days, but the majority of customers takes 90 days to move through that process. We've really been looking at how do we reduce friction and reduce the amount of steps that need to happen. And so I was trying to find ways that we could create more of a consistent process. And I found in both regions, they were doing different things. So I was trying to streamline all of that into like, there is one way that we run a kickoff call globally. There's one way that we onboard customers globally. I think what really enabled that was finding a tool like Doc to keep it in one place. They love templates that you can build, because then everybody just copies that template and we're speaking and doing the same thing all the time. So it's a repeatable process that can scale. I think the feature you released with the progression bar with like how much percentage you're complete, I got so excited when that was rolled out, because now we can actually show you like, hey, you're 50% of the way through your implementation. And having that progress bar at the top, I think really helps people see like, yes, we're making progress through here. They might not feel like it, but like being able to demonstrate like, these are all the tasks that we have completed with you has been really powerful. And then the other really big win we have is collecting their data in their second phase after kickoff. So typically we were just sharing this data via emails backwards and forwards. Like that used to lag sometimes up to a month. And so what we did in a doc was have like a little upload here action button, which I loved, as part of the pre-onboarding. Like before we jump on a kickoff call, we'll set in the doc and then we'll point out that specific section. And we're getting data back within a week now, which is really speeding up our time to value, because obviously if we don't have data in the platform, we can't move forward with implementation. The other thing is I've had 2 new onboarding specialists join the team. And so their ramp time in terms of being able to drive impact in their roles has really significantly increased, because you're able to be like, oh, this is all the steps I should be following with the customer. And it's creating a consistent experience. It's like you have a doc, you create a template doc, and then here's how you run a kickoff call, here's how you run training session 1, etc. And so that really helped them understand what their job is day in, day out a lot faster than before. So that's been a huge win. And then we've just started experimenting with using it in pre-sales to show like the, hey, once you invest in Assign, and like, this is what your journey is like. And last quarter, I think we built 4 docs in pre-sales and we closed 3, which I think, grabbed the attention of our CEO being like, well, maybe we should be using this on all deals. I'm excited to have like sales start to experiment with using Doc to then have this like consistent journey with the customer, and always they can refer back to it at any point. I think is really powerful rather than losing it in some random email between the salesperson and themselves. I love Doc. I think every CS team should have it. I think it allows you to stand out to a customer base in a unique way. Everybody's doing PowerPoint decks and emailing them and doing checklists that are sitting in another tool somewhere. And what I like about Doc is it's basically their own little website guide to how to get the most out of your tool and reaffirming that value